the banks of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine. It's a place I love best, 'cause it's better than the rest. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. There's lights that burn so brightly, in the northeast sky they shine, from the place that Geordies worship, where legends wear number 9. You can travel right round the world, even meet the Pope in Rome, but nothing beats the feeling of when you come back here to home. No matter how life changes, we'll never be far apart. The northeast always home, and it's always in your heart. Take me home to the banks of the River Tyne. Take me home to the place that I call mine.
Good evening everybody, and welcome to It's All Black and White TV. It's the instant reaction to Newcastle United 0, Liverpool 2. So before we get into the show, guys, if you like what you see, then please smash the likes. It really does help the channel up the search results. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, then please hit the subscribe. It's free to do so, helps the channel grow, and bell notification tells you when I'm live, have any upcoming shows or any pre-records. So thank you very much indeed. Yes, guys, disappointing game, isn't it? We've lost. But before we say anybody in Twitter world or social media is getting to meltdown, it's only our second loss this season. Second loss in the Premier League, that is. Although we did lose in the cup, didn't we? The FA Cup. Right, let's get into some comments before we get into the nitty gritty of the show. Sorry, I've not got to the top comment yet. There we go. Lewis, that was effing shite. Okay, Lewis, see where you're coming from. Ryan, today showed the level of players you need to be in that top part of the league and Europa, and not even the best player we have, Maxi, could get us goals against the Premier League's champs. And it goes on to say, Champions League winners, it's time to wake up. Klopp did how today, and his players proved to win things. Bright spot was ASM. We crumbled in the first 25 minutes. We are effed. And it's not how much you spend, it's the characters you bring in. 3 players in Liverpool's squad cost more than Bruno, Van Dijk, Alisson and Nunes. Yeah, and I also think you're forgetting about Diego Jota, because he cost £45 million from Wolverhampton Wanderers. So he cost a lot more than Bruno. So there's 4 players definitely there. And Luis Diaz, I believe, costs more than Bruno as well. So there's a few more there than just the 3 players. Ian says, hi again, Tony. Not good all day around today. No, it's not been, mate, has it? Sorry, Gordon, but we saying Gordon and saying Gak. They're saying Gakpo. It's recruitment because Gordon didn't show up today. It's your opinion, mate. Paul says, first half was shit show. What was Pope thinking? We played well with 10 though, and a positive. The pressure of a long unbeaten run is off the players now. Yeah, definitely. Lewis says, we're not going to win the League Cup now. Well, we haven't even got there yet, Lewis. That's next weekend. David says, I thought Newcastle played well with 10 men on the pitch. ESM played really well for me, Tony. Yeah, he did. He was man of the match. Jake says, Maxi brilliant. The lads gave their all. Yes, they did. Paul says, the defence today was abysmal. That ball over the top was a constant threat. Should have expected that after the first goal. Yeah, we should have. We should have counteracted that straight away. Tanchi says, I'd rather we got beat today than next week. We were due a defeat. It wasn't the worst performance though. No, absolutely not. And Sefton says, I'm lost for words. Is it me? Or does anyone else think we haven't been the same since Leicester, since pre-World Cup? That's quite a good point, and I'm going to come on to that soon. Bruno's back, absolutely. Tanji says, not going to criticise defence. 2 lovely work goals from Liverpool. That's a difference. They know how to do that. We don't. absolutely. Oh, Lewis says we don't have a goalkeeper now. Ryan says we are signing players in the front three, no proven goal scoring ability apart from Isak, and he's pulling up daisies. So our recruitment need to fix up. Paul says we had slightly low XG, more shots than them, but more touches in the opposition box than that was with 10 men. Yeah. I don't know what's up with Dan Burn at the minute, says David. Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, obviously, guys, we had the tragic news this morning about Christian Atsu, and we had a minute's applause before the game started. Yes, there was Liverpool fans singing "You'll Never Walk Alone," but I think that was probably towards Christian Atsu. But yeah, I mean, we paid homage to this guy who was a great servant to our club. We saw the team lineup. We were pretty much excited with that lineup because we saw Elliot Anderson getting the first start. And then we thought, right, okay, let's go. Let's see how we do against this Liverpool side. And to be fair, we started off quite well against Liverpool, in all honesty. We pressed them. We had chances to score before they scored. I thought we were a tad unlucky at times, but we really took the game to Liverpool. But again, a ball over the top, went to Nunes, bang, in the back of the net, 1-0. You're not going to defend against that. And then we didn't learn our lessons from that one. Another one came over and Pope had no chance whatsoever. I know we all hoped on the first one that it was offset, that there was a handball involved. Luckily enough, it didn't. Thankfully for Liverpool, it didn't touch his hand, but unluckily for us, it didn't touch his hand. But yeah, I mean, they got that goal, and then there was nearly an offside one, but it wasn't offside. It was just on, literally. But yeah, and then Pope got the sending off. I mean, okay, he come running out for the ball. He slipped. Yes, he did touch it with his hand. Got sent off, red card. Now, I look at this and I think, okay, right, silly boy doing it. He knew straight away he'd done wrong. But now then, and I'm not one of Jamie Redknapp's biggest fans, but I thought he was talking a lot of sense. And he said, it's about time this goalkeeping rule was changed. He's not happy with it. He thinks it's a disgrace. He says, he says Nick Pope now has to miss a final because of that. He says, but the thing is, if you look at it, Sean Longstaff was a covering defender and Kieran Trippier was up there as well. He says now, if an outfield player does that with a ball and touches it and pushes it away, he doesn't get a sending off, he just gets a yellow card. So why can't a goalkeeper get the yellow card for that as well? Why has he got to be sent off? And he said the rules need to be changed because it's stupid. He says it's an old-fashioned rule now that's out of date. He says football's evolved since then. He says and it needs to be sorted out. And I quite agree with what Jimmy Redknapp's saying. I think he said if it's in like just outside the box, then yeah, that's a different matter. Then you send the goalkeeper off. But when it's miles outside the box, why? So what's to say Salah would have scored that goal? Nobody knows. But I quite agree with Jamie Redknapp, and as I say, I thought it was quite sensible from him. I mean, we played well with 10 men. We did all right. We battled. We had chances. Dan Burn crashed his header against the crossbar, which was unlucky. A little bit low, and that was in. I felt if we got a goal back, I think Liverpool might have been a bit shaky at the back and we might have got in and got an equaliser, but we didn't get the goal. Second half came, was a bit itty-missy, but we played well. St. Maximin doing a lot of running for us. Exactly what I wanted to see from Maxi today. I wanted to see that Maxi back, and I thought we had him back. Obviously, Wilson come on for Isak. Thought Isak was okay, but not the best today. Wilson came on. Yes, he got that through ball from Gordon and just caught it by Alisson's legs. And to be fair, Alisson, I think, has been a poor keeper this season. Liverpool have been a poor team. It's just amazing they came to St James's Park and Alisson all of a sudden was on top form against us, and Liverpool suddenly picked up that game and started playing well. All in all, did we deserve anything out of the game? No, not at all. Man of the match for me is Maxi, without a shadow of a doubt. I thought he ran the show, even against Liverpool. He was better than their team. I mean, he was the standout player on that pitch today. Shame he was on the losing side, and he wasn't happy about. I don't think at the end of it he was too impressed getting a Player of the Match award when we've lost the game. But he did what he could. He tried his best. So yeah, we've lost our second game of the season. Maybe this is what we need to bring a little bit of reality back. Now, Spurs, we know, play tomorrow. They've got to go to the London Stadium, play West Ham. Their form isn't great. So we could still be in that top 4 tomorrow, or worst off, we'll be 5th. But the other thing is, teams are now starting to catch us up, i.e. Fulham. They're 3 points behind us now. Liverpool have 2 games in the hand and are 6 points behind us, by the way. So we've just got to see how we get on. But the question is, and you can answer this in the chat, and I'm putting it out there to everybody, is this cup final too much on the minds of the players? And is this having too much hindrance on where we are going now as a club? Has the cup final just took over and whatever we're doing in the Premier League does not matter? I mean, because since we got the cup final, we've been absolutely woeful. We couldn't beat West Ham, we couldn't beat Bournemouth, we've lost to Liverpool. I don't know, get your thoughts in, guys. I've seen opposition fans saying that the red card for Pope is wrong, and it shouldn't be carried into a cup final. It should be for that competition, so it should be a Premier League game he misses instead of a cup final. I agree with that. But then I sort of disagree with it, because if it had been Bruno when he got sent off against Southampton, then he probably would have missed the Carabao Cup final. So there's 2 ways you can look at that one. I'm going to grab into some comments here because the comments are flying in, and I just want to try and catch up with the comments a bit as well. Right. So Christopher says, hi Christopher, by the way. He said, I thought we were decent in spells in the match going forward, but defensively starting to make relatively easy mistakes. We shouldn't be getting caught out for the first goal in particular. No, we should not. Absolutely. Liverpool did sing in our walk alone, what I was quite happy with. Yeah. Paul says, can we talk about that week attempt from Wilson? What's going on with him? I know he should have put that away, shouldn't he, really? Had he put that away, that's a different game. That changes the dynamics of the game. Been saying it before, Leicester in the quarter-final of the Cup has been our main focus. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Klopp's saying he's happy with the sending off tonight of Nick Pope. I mean, that guy never ceases to amaze, does he? You probably thought if Pope's off, they've got a chance to score more. Well, it didn't happen, did it? I still think we had chances today, just same old problem about putting them in the net. Yeah, absolutely. And sorry, XG means nothing. Fed up with these stats. These are opposed. Bruce in charge, then Pope makes mistake, but he saved us a lot this season, so it happens. Yeah, absolutely. Maxi and Longstaff did well, says Ian. Yeah, they did. Next week, Tamji says, next week these players will go for every tackle, full focus. We got Bruno back. We are going to win this cup, then give full focus in the league. Yeah, absolutely. Let's go out there and win the cup. I can't believe Pope will get sent off and miss a final. It's just our luck to get a straight red before the Manx. Yeah, absolutely. And I wasn't that impressed with Anthony Taylor, by the way, today. Sefton says, Bruno's a huge miss, guys. Let's be honest. Yes, he is. The problem is, Sefton, the summer, we need to start recruiting some players in, because if you look at the strength we've got in this team, it's nowhere near the top teams. I'm sorry. And I'm sorry to say this, guys, but I don't think we'll finish in the top 4 this season. Let's be real. I think we'll be lucky if we're still in the top 7 by the end of the season, unless we start cutting out these silly mistakes. But I did say before a ball was kicked that we would finish 7th place and win the Carabao Cup. Now, tell you what, guys and girls, if we finish 7th still, I still wouldn't be disappointed, because it means we've got a European place next season. So think of the positives. But I still believe we will finish in that top 7. Where we will finish, I don't know, but we will finish in that top 7. I think we will anyway. As Eddie says, the players are too good to do this. So let's hope the players back up what Eddie Howe's saying, and we get out there and we start putting in the performances. Paul says it's a poor rule, but it's a rule Pope is aware of. He shouldn't have grabbed the ball. Stupid decision on all accounts. Rather concede that, take the red card. Yeah, I totally agree. Joe Linton, shocking today. Manager transfer window too. Yeah, absolutely. Hold up, he's out both boxes on him. I'm sorry, he has 30 yards of room to walk around in. We can't change the rules because he's messed up. He should have come out. It's what Jamie Redknapp's saying. Jamie Redknapp is actually talking some sense for a change now, I think. And I think it's nice the way he's talking, because it is true. If that's say, for instance, let's say if that was Sean Longstaff went on the ground and he pushed that ball away, would he have got sent off for that? No, he wouldn't have, because there was covering defenders and he would have got away with it. He would have got a yellow card. That's all he would have got, a yellow card. So I'm sorry, I don't agree with that comment. And I think, to be fair with you, Joe Linton, if that was, like I say, if that was Longstaff doing that, he would have got a yellow card. But he wouldn't have got a red card, because he would have had players behind covering. Pope had players behind covering. I totally agree with what Jamie Redknapp's saying. But it's a red card. Nothing we can do about it. Just have to move on from it. Simple as. Hopefully it goes down just as a 1-game ban, because I know there's 2 different meanings of the red card. It can be, if it's denying a goal scoring opportunity, it can be upgraded to a 3-match ban. I personally think it'll be a 1-game ban. But again, it's something we just have to see what the referee has deemed it as. That's the thing. Darren, hi Darren, hope you're well. He says, right, definitely a red card all day long. Keeper made a mistake on his decision making. We can't complain. No, he shouldn't have grabbed the ball, really. I mean, if he'd slid, surely he could have just, even if he had chested it and then it rubbed off his hand, I don't think he would have got a send off for that, because that wouldn't have been down to him. Even if he got the red card, VAR might have looked at that and said, actually, to come off his chest and hit his hand, he's not in control, he can't do nothing about it. Then that's a different matter. But it's when he's purposely grabbed it, I think that's the issue. Tanji says, we don't have to worry about the keeper next week if the 10 outfield players are 100% at it and perform the game of their lives. Absolutely. We are a 15-minute team. Burn ourselves out and that's it. To be fair, we played well all game, especially when we were down to 10 men. I thought we did all right, to be fair. Liverpool always do their so-called rivals favours. Yeah, it's Liverpool all over, unfortunately. They've just hit that purple patch, haven't they? He says, I think we're going to drop because we don't score enough goals. Okay, fair enough. Are we the lads' favours? Yeah. I realise what you said. Paul says, 15-minute team. We are at it all game with even 10 men. Absolutely, Paul. We were all game. Not just this game, all game since December. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely the players' heads are in the cup final, but also we lost Bruno at the same time, which explains a lot. Yeah, it does. Absolutely. Not clinical. The shooting department training has been lacking for weeks. Don't know what's gone on. Something's not right. Something's not clicking. But again, it may click in. It may click in. You've just, as long as you're creating chances, that's all you can do. You can create chances and keep going. Cup final must be in the back of their minds. Don't care what they say. Yeah. Obviously, it's going to be in your mind because obviously you're in a big cup final. So you're sort of thinking, oh, I just want the cup final to be here. And that's the problem. Eddie should stop picking favourites. Darren says, just agree with a lot of things talking about tonight. You need to have a serious thing. It's all about opinions, isn't it? That's the problem at the end of the day. It's all opinions. Hi, Tony Noel. Hi, I like coffee. How are the lads? Agree, Joe Linton. What's the point signing players that are not good replacements for steel ones and not using them? Again, Eddie can only work with what he's got. Unfortunately, the FFP has took a lot out of us, and that's the problem here. We're not in a position like other clubs where they can go out and just spend money. We've got to be careful on FFP. That's the problem we're dealing with here. Until the club starts generating the money, then FFP is going to have a bearing on a lot of things. Exactly, Stark Gordon, he's not playing the final. Cut off, but he gave Elliot Anderson a chance, and it was unfortunate Elliot Anderson had to be withdrawn because of Nick Pope's red card. That's the problem. That could have been the same for Anthony Gordon if he just started. He could have been taken off for Nick Pope's red card. So I feel sorry for Elliot Anderson because it would have been a great game for Elliot Anderson to show, but I mean, he looked sickened when he had to go off, but there's nothing you can do about it because that's what you got to do. If you've got to get your substitute keeper on, you've got to take an outfield player off, and that's the problem. Darren says, definitely a red all day, and I'm a Newcastle fan. Absolutely, Darren. It is a red. He has grabbed it, and that's the thing. But what I was saying was, if it hit his chest and then brushed his hand, maybe that might have been a different matter. But the fact he's grabbed the ball, that's the difference. Burners multiple bad games and still plays favourite somehow. To be fair, Burns been okay, but he's had a few games where he hasn't been the greatest. But who else have we got to call on? We got no Matty Long. Target at the moment, sorry. And well, he's back in training now, and so we just have to wait. I'm not happy with the defeat. I'm unhappy with losing Pope, though. Yeah, again. I mean, like somebody said, and to think it's come from an opposition fan, I think is a nice one. That the red card from the Premier League shouldn't affect the final. It should affect the league only. But as I said earlier, would we be seeing the same if, the red card for Bruno affected the Carabao Cup, which would mean you would have missed the final, then missed the first two games next season in the Carabao Cup. It swings and roundabouts. No top four, no cup, I'm afraid. Out of form, gung-ho for 15 minutes, and then they've got us after that. Do you know what? Even if we didn't finish top four this season, I wouldn't be disappointed because I said top seven. So even if we finish seventh, it's still a great season. It's success because we've got European football. So it's still a success in a way, even if we finish seventh place. Considering where we were 12 months ago, considering where we've been under the ownership of the former owner. Tanji says our expectations too high to be this position at the end of February. We would never predict that at the beginning of the season. Let's all be honest, and we have a small squad beginning of the season. Never mind now. Well said, Tanji. Absolutely true. We have. Totally agree. Not a chance we finished fourth. 7 is a push with how the team under us are playing. Just don't think we have the players. Look at the bench, it's shocking. No, it's bad when Richie's playing. Yeah, we haven't got the strength and depth. That's the problem. Hopefully, we sort this out in the summer. We bring a few in, maybe a few go. But again, the owners did say this was not a quick process when they came in. They didn't expect us to be challenging like this in the first year. They probably thought, oh, we'd probably finish mid-table this year. Maybe the owners thought top 8 this year, but they probably didn't expect it to be in the top 4 at the moment as we are, for at least the next 24 hours. But that's where we've got to be real. We've got to think, even if we finish 7th, it's still not a bad season. It's still progress. We finished 11th last season after that horrendous start where we couldn't win in 14 games. So if you think how far we've come on, we've done really well. Darren says, yet again, letter of the law says if you keep a handball, he's off. Yeah, it's a handball all day. He grabbed it, didn't he? So that's the problem. A 5-year project, not a 1-year project. People calling Ashworth Roadsworth should be supporting someone else. Yeah, Ashworth's not his problem. At the end of the day, the problem is it falls to the previous ownership. Previous owner didn't do our squad justice, didn't buy the players and didn't invest. That's the problem. We still got players from when we went down in 2016, the Championship. However, the lads, we need a central midfielder for months. Had to do it. Failed to buy. And non-priority. Man U addressed the problem when they lost Ericsson in 3 days. Again, it's all down to this FFP, isn't it? That's the problem. Tanji says, we've punched well about our wait until January. Yeah. Shelby hadn't kicked a ball all season. No, he hadn't. They're talking to each other. Take the money for Wood and Shelby. We move on with the project. Yeah. I mean, I believe Wood's clause of his contract is 3 games. So he's well and truly past that now. So Forest have to buy him. Good business. Great business. However, the lads, that's up. Bruno's one of his A game next week. Well, he's had 3 games off now, so I'm sure Bruno will be sharp as anything next week. Tanchi, Shelby will get injured again soon. He can't keep up with the pace of the Premier League anymore. That's a thing. Yeah, you're absolutely right. John says, to be fair, Newcastle did well with 10 men. Deserved a goal, but definitely a send-off. Pope misjudged the ball. Yeah, he did. I'm not defending Nick Pope, by the way. I'm just saying that's what Jamie Redknapp said on the TV afterwards. He just said he thinks the law should be changed. But, keeper handles the ball out of an area, it's going to be a send-off. The coffee Liverpool game has passed us. We have a cup final next week. Bruno's back. Let's keep the positivity up. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it could have been, if Pope hadn't handled that ball, you got Longstaff, you got Trippier getting back. Who knows? One of them might have tackled Salah and he might not have scored. Or even if he did score, fair enough. But at least we've still got 11 players on the pitch. Craig says, Wood scored tonight? What, for Forest? Wilson was terrible. Yeah, he just came on, didn't he? He wasn't at his massive best. He had that chance, but Alisson got it with his legs. Andrew says, we've been weak for weeks, and I'll say it, our forwards are not good enough. That's the thing, Andrew. But we're not putting the service into them now, are we? That's the problem. Whole fan base slagged off Wood. So what do our supporters want? Says Tangi. Yeah, absolutely, totally agree there, mate. Totally agree. We can't buy anyone till the summer, so let's support the players we have, back them to do their best until next summer. Absolutely. I mean, the thing is, even if we finished in the top 7, so see we finished 7th at the worst case scenario, finish 7th, that's progress, because then you can go in the summer, you can buy better players in, try and get the squad depth and quality, and then you make that push. That's how Man City make that push. They can push for different trophies because they've got a squad to do it. They can rotate. So that's what we've got to do. I know we're all hoping for Man United to have a hard game against Barcelona on Thursday night. And because it's a draw at the moment, and I'm not sure if away goals still count in Europe now, double or not, but I'm not sure. I don't think they do now. I think it's all level pegging in it. So that game could go extra time. That could even go as far as penalties. Who knows? But one thing we do know is Barcelona won't give up on wanting to beat Man United on Thursday, that's for sure. So it will be a hard game for Man U. Wood is junk, says Howie the lads. It's like a library tonight at St James's. Fickle fan, says Tangi. It did go a bit quiet, didn't it? Paul says, I'm still not convinced Liverpool have struggled with us down to 10 at the back. Yeah, they did. That was the thing. They had they got the 2 goals, and then, yeah, they were struggling. And whether Liverpool will finish in the top 4 this season, I don't know, but they did struggle, didn't they? Wood just didn't suit our system, says Craig. Absolutely. Essentially, we haven't spent in 15 years. We have no debt. We can spend a lot. I wish we could. Burning trips well off it, says Howie the lads. Again, it goes down. It is the cup final on the minds. Tangi says, we haven't got the revenue of sponsors 1 year on from Mike Ashley to spend like Chelsea. We've done our best possibly we could with the players. Yeah, absolutely, Tangi. We've got to be careful. That's the thing. Until we start getting better sponsors in. If Burn isn't playing, give Lewis a couple of games. Yeah, could have. Could have give Lewis a run out tonight even. We don't want Lewis, he's junk. Yeah, but if he's the only fit left back we've got Manguillo who can play there as well. Howie the lad says Trips left back and Ashby right, but not Lewis. Yeah, that's another one that would have worked. But again, we'll see. Greg says, most fans happy with 8th to 10th with a good cup run, so please remember where we come from. Well said, Craig, well said. An absolutely brilliant comment that, mate. And you're absolutely spot on with that comment. Tangi says, Elliot Anderson, poor lad, was doing okay in his first start, but had to be sacrificed because of a red card. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was mentioning before. I was looking forward to seeing what Elliot Anderson would do tonight, but we didn't really get a chance because of the red card. Wellington says, a lot of fans predict the 6th, some 4th, but not everyone thinks it's a success. I think anyway, in that top 8 or top 10 is still a success considering what we've done in previous seasons as well. So Paul says, I don't want to be too harsh as it's early, but I think it's a massive opportunity missed not replacing Wood and Shelby and pushing for 4th. How bad teams are this season. Yeah, I see exactly what you mean by that. You're absolutely right. Okay. Next comment is Coffee. One loss and there's so much negativity, yet we lost to Klopp again, but we played well with 10 men. I've seen Liverpool fans complimenting our display and second half saying we didn't play like 10 men. Yeah, absolutely. Even Trent Alexander-Arnold said it's a hard place to come to. He says you can see we're the only team that's won here this season. The finishing's been lacking this calendar year. That know who's supposed to be improving this, but not straight coaching. Again, we've had the chances, but just got to keep training. How we the lads keep on the FFP, but spend on a lad from Everton when we need a central midfielder. There's something there in Anthony Gordon that Eddie Howe must wanted it from him. Ashworth has a lot of mess to get rid of on long contracts while juggling FFP. It's a difficult task, especially when we haven't got our ideal revenue and sponsors. That's the thing, Tanji. The summer is going to be key when we get sponsorship deals in. Get Ian right around Shearer to show how goals are scored. True. Craig says, everyone's seen FFP does not concern us. It does. We have no revenue thanks to that fact. Yep, we know exactly what you mean, Craig. Tanji says, shot was lazy. He should have put his laces through that like Shearer would have. Yeah, I think he should have as well. And maybe would have had more chance. Ian says, thought Liverpool fans were class when we had immense applause for Atsu and Sir Bobby Robson singing You'll Never Walk Alone. Absolutely. Yes, Wood scored. Oh, brilliant. So he done well. Tanji says, be a tough match against Leicester for Man U tomorrow. Yeah, it will be because Leicester are in form at the moment. They're playing quite well. Can't say there's no service to the Tony there. He couldn't score in the barnyard. Fair enough. Byrne played okay tonight, says Craig. Yeah, he was everywhere, wasn't he, Byrne? And he was unlucky that shot that his header crashed against the crossbar, or else that was in. That would have been 2-1, different game then. Byrne didn't have a bad game today, but Byrne ESM communication breakdown played a part in one of the goals. Yeah, that's where he likes Joe Linton on the left, doesn't he? We'll be okay, fans. Keep the faith, says Andrew. Absolutely, Andrew. Nell says, big ups, mate. R.I.P. Atsu. Yeah, thanks very much, mate. Hope you're well. R.I.P. Christian. You now join the Great Magpies 11 in the sky, so Bobby will look after you. Yeah, well said, mate. Well said. Eddie Howe did the same at Bournemouth. Had a set where he playing and got found out. And I bet you get found out quicker. Yeah, I mean, he did, but then I don't know. He just seemed to play better with 10 men tonight. It's crazy, isn't it? Craig says, got to remember, we got a lot of deadwood on long contracts with big wages that no one can afford in lower leagues. That's the problem. Yeah, that is it. I mean, look at Jacob Murphy, for instance. He's the prime example. Tanji says, just got to look at the results to see what kind of season this has been this year. Yeah, I mean, look at Chelsea. They got beat off bottom of the table, Southampton, and they've spent £600 million. So, you know, goes to show it doesn't always go down to the fact of how much you're spending, because you can buy the best players, but they still might not gel and they still might not get you where you want to be. So we got to think there is people in worse places than us, like Chelsea. They're worse off than what we are. So, you know, we should look at that and think and hold on to that thought as well, that there is teams worse off than us that have spent more than us. And look where they are. Where's it got them? Nowhere. Chelsea are trying to buy their way into a European spot, into the Champions League for next season. Ain't going to work. But guys, if you like what you see, please smash a like. It helps the channel up the search results. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, then please hit the subscribe. Free to do so. Helps the channel grow. And bell notification tells you when I'm live. Have a pre-record of any upcoming shows. So thank you very much indeed for that, guys. Craig says Man City and Forest drew. Yeah, that was it. That wasn't expected, was it? If you think our loss today was bad, think of Chelsea. Exactly, Coffee. Exactly what I just said. Tanji says our luck is due for next week. Yep, let's hope so. Let's bring that silverware home. Do you know what? If somebody said, there's a Carabao Cup, you can either have that or you can have a top four. What would you rather have? Carabao Cup all day long because it's a trophy. and it'll be our first one since '69. Craig says, we've lost 2 games and the world has collapsed. Yeah, absolutely. It's just, yeah, that's the thing. And again, it's just one of those things, isn't it? So, we've got a cup final to look forward to next week. Yes, we've lost. It's disappointing to lose. Disappointing to lose a game like that tonight against Liverpool. But we will come back and we will beat Liverpool. Might do it next season. Who knows? See what happens in the summer. But next week we've got a Carabao Cup game against Man United. Remember, Man U has still got to play a game on Thursday night against Barcelona. And as I said, that is going to be a really hard game because Barcelona are not an easy team to beat. Now, yeah, maybe Jules Koundé should have been sent off for Barcelona the other day, but that's by the by. Now, if this game goes to extra time and in a possible penalty shootout, these Man United players have only got Friday and Saturday to prepare for a final on the Sunday, so they haven't got a lot of rest. So we're in a better place than what Manchester United are. So that's what I'm saying, guys. There's a chance there next week that we can win that cup. And again, we'll see how it pans out. But we'll find out next Sunday how it goes, and hopefully it goes in our favour and we bring the Carabao Cup back home to Newcastle. Carabao Cup, says Coffee, yeah. Spurs finishing top 4 but no trophy. Yeah. Craig says Karius wants to redeem himself and put all behind him. Yeah, he did. Well, in that final, it did come out that he did have concussion, didn't he? So win the cup, then try our best after that. That's all we can hope for, says Tanji. Yeah, absolutely. You're spot on. Yes, Tony, they have a massive squad to rotate. We have Murphy, says Craig. Yeah, that's the truth. What kind of keeper is Karius? I mean, to be fair, when he started off at Liverpool, he was quite a good keeper. But I think that Champions League final, but it did come out a few days later, he did have concussion in that final. So that might have dented his confidence. But again, do you know what? Karius could come into that cup final next week and say to everybody, right, you wrote me off, you think I'm a crap keeper, watch this. And he could come into that final, he could have a cracking final next weekend. He could maybe win us that cup single-handedly. Might be that he get a penalty and he saves a penalty in the cup final. Who knows? And he becomes the hero. So who knows? Let's see. He might have a point to prove. And what better way to do it than in a cup final? Is he a shot stopper or sweeper keeper? He's a good shot stopper. But yeah, he's not too bad at shot stopping, that's for sure. So again, we shall wait and see what happens on that one. But again, it's all ifs and buts to who plays next week, and like as I say, we'll wait and see on that one. And let's hope. Let's hope we just bring that trophy back home. That's what we want to do. We want to bring that trophy back home to Newcastle, because nothing would be better than to come back and bring a trophy home. It would be absolutely fantastic. So again, we'll just wait and see. All his mistakes due to concussion. Poor lad's career ended on that. Yeah, absolutely. Man U's goal should have come from 1v1 situations. Yeah, exactly. I mean, he could be a 1v1 and he could stop it. And headers. Yeah. And Craig says, Karius plays well in the trial match. Yes, he did. He played absolutely brilliant in the trial match, didn't he? If he's that good, Karius would not be third or fourth choice. Nobody wants him, says John. Well, nobody did want him, but we brought him in because, one, at the time we had no Dubravka. He had gone to Man United. Darlow got an injury, so he had to come in. Man U decided to play Dubravka in the game against Stoke, which then ruined our chances if Dubravka come back of him playing in the Carabao Cup. So it is what it is, and we've got to deal with it. That's the thing. We have got to deal with it. Freaks says either Karius or Gillespie. I know who I want. Yeah, I think it'll be Karius over Gillespie. In all honesty, would be madness if it was Gillespie and goals. Coffee. Yeah, it would be, wouldn't it? Absolutely madness. But again, he could come out and be a hero. Who knows? That's the thing. West Ham will beat Spurs. Do you know what it is? It wouldn't surprise me, Tangi, because Spurs are just a poor side. They're not great, are they? They don't. They're very, very inconsistent. That is the problem with Spurs. Too inconsistent, and that is the problem. But so, guys, I'm going to come to the end of the show because that was just a quick roundup of today's game. Not the way we wanted it to go. We didn't want to lose that game. We were hoping to win that game. We all had high hopes, but we lost Nick Pope in that game due to a red card through his own fault in some ways. But he learned from that. The thing is, even if the referee hadn't given a red card and give a yellow card, VAR would have probably said, no, you need to go and have a look at it. And so, yeah, I mean, it's disappointing, but maybe it's the reality check we needed. Maybe we did need this to bring us down to earth. It's brought us down to earth with a bump, but it's something that we had to do. The lads, Karius will need to carry us with this lot. Do you know what? We've got Bruno back next week. Let's see what happens. Coffee says missing Nick Pope, but Bruno back. Now defence, our goalkeeper can bring a chair and a new novel to read. That's the thing. As long as the defence is solid and the goalkeeper doesn't have a lot to do, that's where you base your defence solidly, because that's where your team's solid. If your defence is solid and your keeper has done nothing all game, that means your defence has been absolutely terrific. So you've stopped the opponents. But we got a cup final next Sunday. We'll look forward to that. But yeah, like I say, second defeat of the season in the Premier League. We should all be. Yes, we're not happy about getting beat, but we should look at it and think, do you know what? We've still got the least defeats in the league this season, and we've still got the best defence in the league. So let's cling on to that anyway. But wherever we finish this season, it's been a success regardless. Because one, we've got to a cup final. We haven't been to a cup final for 24 years, so it's a great achievement. And two, wherever we finish, it's a success after the last, especially from where we were 12 months ago. Trips left back, Ashby right back, drop third. That's not a bad shout. Tanchi says Botman first loss. Yeah, it is, yeah. But, records are there to be broken, and unfortunately, that's what happens. Gary says, bad day at the office, Tony, mate. Yeah, absolutely, Gary. You've just got to brush it off now and just dust ourselves down. Remember, Cup final is a one-off game. Form book is out the window. It doesn't matter how good you are. You throw that out the window. Because at the end of the day, it's a one-off game, the cup final, and it's not a game where you win it and you get 3 points. It's a game where you win it and you win a trophy. So it's a one-off game. You've seen some teams go into finals with an awful record, but they've won the game. So, let's not worry about it. And if we do go in that game and win it, we've got a Carabao Cup coming on. So, a lot to look forward to, guys. A hell of a lot to look forward to. Guys, if you like what you see, please smash the likes. It does help the channel with the search results. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, then please hit the subscribe. Free to do so, helps the channel grow. And also, bell notification tells you when I'm live, have any pre-records or any upcoming shows. So thank you very much indeed, guys. I'm glad we have Carrius as backup, says Coffee. He's, given me his chance to shine, simple as. But, yeah. But on a day full of it, and a day of a roller coaster of emotions, a day we found out this morning that Christian Natsu, lost his life in the terrible tragedy in Turkey. And obviously and it would have been Sir Bobby's 90th birthday today. Then we've lost to Liverpool. But let's think where we've come from and where we are now. It's been a great ride so far and a great journey. And let's see what happens. Ali Coffee says if we didn't extend his loan, we would have won at Gillespie. Absolutely. So it's been an emotional day on and off the pitch for Newcastle. But do you know what? Onwards and upwards. Cup final next Sunday. Look forward to that. That'll be fantastic. And I'll leave you with this clip for now. And then, so there we are. It's Christian Atsu. Highlights at Newcastle. Tanji says, yeah, so sad for Atsu and his family. God bless them, absolutely. And to everybody else who's been involved in this horrendous tragedy in Turkey and Syria. So, guys, we're at the end of the show now. But thank you very much. And I'll see you again on the next show. But until then, take care. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Don't be too downhearted. And yes, it would have been nice. It's my birthday tomorrow. I would have loved Newcastle to have won tonight to give me a great birthday present. That didn't happen. But you know what? Let's not be too despondent. But until then, see you later, guys. Enjoy the cup final next week. Away the lads, and see you on the next show. Bye-bye.